exactly what I thought it would be. I got my house on a little piece of land. This is the place I'm gonna take my stand. But I keep living on dreams. One thing I know, that's the way it's gotta be. Am I living the American dream? I keep searching for that dream of me, hoping someday that I will see myself in American dream.
Okay, ready. Let's rock this shit. Damn the torpedoes, baby. Let's go. Thank you, Jane. Thank you. How y'all doing, baby? It's Sunday. Hey, it is Sunday. It's time for another Blue Dot family meeting. I'm so glad y'all are here. I apologize tremendously for missing our Beer and Bud Friday. Have no fear. I partake upon the beer and the bud heavily. And but I apologize for missing a show. At first, I tried to. I thought I might catch it on Saturday. Didn't turn out that way. Anyway, we're back now, and that's the important thing. And well, let me thank Jane Mendenhall because she just jumped in twice. Thank you, Jane. She came in with a $5 donation and she came right back with another $2 donation and said, "Hello, fellow Blue Dots." That's two. That's two, Jane. Thank you very much, darling. I am so glad y'all are here. Jeff Curry was the first one to jump in, followed by the Feral Female Society. Whew. Glad they're here. The Remixtress is with us, as is Tina Riley and Dorothy Tyndall. S. Warren all the way from Georgia Baby is here. Amanda Elliott. Adina Michael is here. Woo! Pig. That Randy Peterson up in Montana. Going to be heading back to Arkansas pretty soon, I think. Mark Perkins is in the room. Dwayne Dwizzle's here. And Karen Van, what's her name? And Tracy Tobias. Karen Van Wyck is here. Thank you very much. Tracy Tobias. Oh, dear, how I wish you were my neighbor, baby. I really do. Dennis Utenreiner is here. Debbie Marie. Suzanne Jarrett, thank you for being here, darling. Let me see. There's Bethy Brown. Our own Bernadette Pree is here. Donald Ware. George Murray is here. Woo, the whole gang, BW. Let me, got to get on down here. We'll be here all night here. And Virginia Woodley, and let me thank her for her voice. Miss Linda, a.k.a. Mary Ellen, is with us. And Diana Mallory, bequeather of the gong, and Secret Squirrels, and the kind heart, and a listening ear. Anyway, it is indeed Sunday, baby. And there's so much going on. Where do we start? Where do we even, begin to unpack everything that that we're facing now, that our whole world is facing right now? It's time to reflect. It's time to plan. It's time for remembrance. It's time for action. It's a time for a lot of shit right now on our plate. I don't want to let the moment go by without recognizing that today is the 57th anniversary of Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. People bled that day, fighting for their own rights. Indeed, isn't that how our nation was born? That a band of us, Minutemen patriots, who stood up against tyranny, who stood up against the greatest military power the world knew at the time? Yeah, that's us, baby. That's what we did. We didn't roll over. We fought. We banded together. We fought for democracy, for self-governance. we're seeing no less today. The heroism that we see coming out of Ukraine is enough to inspire. This story is enough to break your heart. But we were them. We were them when our country formed. And normal citizens from everyday life took up arms to fight the British, to declare our own democracy, to be reliant on self-governance. Y'all got to remember that self-governance thing, because that plays heavily into everything. It's under attack right now from inside our own country, go figure. But we'll fight that too. I don't pretend to know the answers of where we should go. I'm as concerned as everybody out there that if we progress any farther, things are going to get worse. And then look through the other eye and see if we don't do some action, things are going to get worse. Kind of catch-22. We can't fail on this one, baby. We can't fail here. Because if he takes Ukraine, he's going to take something else. He's going to keep taking. Because of his threat that he's put his nuclear weapons on high alert. And the minute those words came out of his mouth, I guarantee you ours did too. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. But we also can't let it be a deterrent to humanity itself. Anyway, it's indeed perilous times, and I want you to I don't know, do what you can. We had a little bit of problem with a glitch here on the thing. We tried to get we have several reliable places where you can donate, verified charities that are helping the Ukrainian people. We want to be able to put that list up, and for any of those that want to donate, because the need is big and it's getting bigger every day. It is. Some of the stories you see, some of the news footage you see over there is heartbreaking. And anyway, let me thank Tim Lowry, who just came in with a $5 donation and said, "Evening all. My first time being here at the start of the stream. I'm usually about 20 minutes late." Well, Tim, I wish you would have let us know that. We would have just waited on your ass. Tim, thank you very much, brother. We appreciate it tremendously. Let's see who's in the chat over here. I think I see our buddy Mitch Goldstein is here, and indeed he is. Mitch, how are you doing? Uh-oh, I hear him. Where are you going?
1 second.
You're going to do what?
Yeah, I got a phone call, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Mitch.
Pretty sure he is talking to me. I thought so.
Mitch, are you there?
Can you not hear me, John?
Oh, I can barely hear you, Mitch. Sounds like you're speaking in another room to it. Let's see. Having a little difficulties on somebody's end here. I can't hear you, Mitch. Let's see.
Now.
I can hear you, but very faintly. How are you doing, Mitch?
I'll fix it. I'll get it. I understand, but he can't hear me, so how's he going to talk?
Yeah, he's coming very faint.
Very, very faint, Mitch. Just
I'm going to relog. I'll be back.
okay, Mitch. I appreciate it. Mitch is gonna try to rejoin us here in just a minute. Uh-oh. What was that?
You have my mic on. That's what the problem is. Turn my mic off.
Turn your mic off.
Yeah. There you go.
What, am I not doing something right?
No, you're fine. I was just making noise anytime I moved the mouse or whatever on the desk. You were picking it up.
Well, Lord have mercy. Let me see. Jessica, tell everybody I have a pet peeve regarding media coverage. May I tell everyone at Pet Peeve I have a regard? That's just Coggins. Media coverage, depending on where you're looking. You know, I was watching a lot of BBC coverage earlier today. There are very few outfits inside Ukraine right now. Hello, Donna Bonacosi, Carrie Thompson, thank you for being here. Dorothy Tyndall, we appreciate it very much, baby. There's Gene Prim. How you doing, darling? Yeah, it's really, yeah. I'm having a little technical difficulty here. I'm just trying. It's distracting me, and I'm sorry if it did. Anyway, yeah, we were the same thing at one time. Anyway, Aussie Dave, are you with us?
Yeah, mate, I'm with you.
How are you doing, bub? I'm struggling.
And very concerned about what's happening in America. I mean, this at the moment, I've just seen the news article about the lowlife Bragg in Manhattan dropping the case against Trump. All that crap that's going on there at the moment. Don't know the full story.
I have not seen that. I saw what you posted. I didn't click on it. I just saw the headline. So I don't know what is happening in that respect.
Well, he won't release the letters that the people gave him as resignations. Whether that must have some
the district attorneys in New York.
Yes.
The two that resigned.
Yes, because Mr. Bragg said, "I don't want to proceed against Mr. Trump." They were his words. What does that tell you?
Makes me concerned.
What does that tell you? It does make you concerned when a DA, after all the hard work's been put in, and proving the guy's a crook,
all of a sudden the case is what?
Yeah. It's time. It took me if you're on the outside looking in, it looks like the fix is in. It looks like whatever the Republicans have done or wormed their way into, they have corrupted every fucking department of the United States government, except for Biden's department himself. It seems to be Biden's fighting against so much shit, and yet he can still produce some great results: employment, economy. The fuel prices are worldwide. That's not his fault.
No,
this guy's achieving a lot, and he's under attack every freaking day, and he's made to look a fool. And let me tell you, I think
it's making the Attorney General's office look really bad. I don't see
corrupt
unless they come out with a damn good explanation of why they're dropping the case. Explain to me why you're dropping the case, because the rest of us have all been out here watching this shit for years.
This seems to be the thing we can't get the answer to. What his reasoning, I'm sure he must have a reason to drop it, and it must be a good reason for Trump. But it's not good for America unless you guys make these.
No, I'm sure Trump's got a good tickle out of this shit. He's probably laughing his ass off down there big time.
He's going to run with it. He's going to say, look, even the Manhattan didn't drop the case because there's no case there. It's all fake folks and hoaxes and bullshit. They're just giving him so much in power. They just make him look like he's right. They're their own worst enemy.
I watched Nikki Haley this morning on one of the news shows this morning talking about if Trump would have been in power, none of this in Ukraine would have happened. And I'm so, she was ambassador to the UN. She was the U.S. ambassador to the UN.
She was right. She was a popular lady at one time.
Yes, she was. She was. Today they asked her, "Are you going to run for president?" Well, if Donald Trump runs for president, what are you going to do? She said, "Well, if Donald runs, I'm not." So there you go. Don't do me a favor and just don't even jump in, lady. If that's the deciding factor whether or not Donnie runs, whether you're powerful enough to do it, tells me you're not powerful enough to do it. If you don't have confidence in yourself, what the hell are you going to ask other people to vote for your ass? I just wish she'd just go away. She sold herself out to the devil a long time ago, baby.
What worries the world is if you had Putin, Xi, and Trump in power.
Yeah,
that is the fascist dream team.
It was.
That is the fascist dream.
It is. Yes.
Now
and Trump did his damnedest while he was in office to hurt NATO as much as he possibly could. We're not on good terms with anybody. except Russia and North Korea.
North
Guess
Korea.
we were getting along fine there. Anyway,
Yep.
let's
And-
let Ardessa join the conversation. Ardessa, how are you? And how is Dan, by the way?
Hello. I'm hanging in there.
Good.
Dan's doing fairly well today.
Fairly well. That's better. That's good. That's good. We'll
Yeah.
take fairly well. You know, I
Yeah,
could say
me
the same thing
too.
about myself. I'm doing fairly well today. So
Yeah.
anyway, Ardessa, we're glad to have you, baby. How's
Thank you.
everything?
Nice to see everybody.
Yes, we missed Friday.
Thank you, Ardessa.
We missed everybody on Friday. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
You know, why would the
Ardessa?
Mexicans?
Oh,
Why
go
would
ahead.
the Mexicans cross the border, John?
I'm sorry. Say
Why would
again.
the Mexicans cross the border now? Why would the Mexicans cross the border into America?
Why?
They wouldn't. Who would? It's going to be going the other way. I'm sure the Americans be going across into
Yeah, you know that.
Trump did.
This whole scenario, don't think I haven't looked at the map and looked at the possibility of, well, shit hits the fan, where am I going? Because this is not a good spot.
Yeah.
Corpus Christi's on the target list, baby. I guarantee it is. This is a big oil and gas refinery in the fifth largest port in the United States.
Yeah.
You know,
I bet it is.
Yeah, sure, it's a target. You know,
It's hot there too, probably.
it's the threat. The threat of that used to be enough. The threat of mutually assured destruction was enough to
Yep.
enough of a deterrent that we left nukes off the table. And now
Yeah.
Pootie Boy is uttering those words, that he is putting his
Yeah, he
nuclear.
doesn't seem to care.
He doesn't seem to care. He's talking the language of these sanctions or a declaration of war. He is speaking in that language. The
he's
question
making
that we have to
excuse
ask
for
is this a
himself.
bluff or what are we supposed to do with it?
Yeah.
You know, my
Because we
fear
never
is that if we
expected
let
this.
him get away with this, baby, it ain't Ukraine's not the only one on the list. What is it? Moldova's right there. He's still looking at
Yep.
Georgia. You know, the Baltic states.
What do you think would happen, John? What do you think will happen, John, if Trump's re-elected? I mean, Putin will take the whole of the USSR back if he can. If he's got
Yes, he
Trump
could. Yes,
behind
he
him.
would. And just look right now at Finland. Finland is considering joining NATO. Finland's nervous. They're right on the Russian border, baby. They butt up against them,
Panic
sort of like
station.
your neighbors. You know, if you can't trust your neighbors, if you're fearful of your neighbors, it's not good, baby.
Yeah.
No
It doesn't.
shit.
It's no good. And
How's
it
that?
makes
Does
you,
it sound better?
yes, it does, Mitch. You
Yes,
sound
Mitch.
a whole lot better. How in the hell are you?
All right. This takes 20 minutes of this old piece of shit to restart. But
Well.
other than that,
May I
Well,
suggest
good.
a set of jumper cables?
yeah, I wish
Yeah.
that would help.
Whatever. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Get the
I gotta
sledgehammer
stop
out.
living the high life and buy myself a decent computer. I don't think what I got.
Well, how's Julie and the family?
How is Julie?
Julie's fine.
I am so glad to hear that. Now, let's get on with the.
My apologies. I just wanted to get back in. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm trying to muddle my way through a Sunday that I was not prepared to do. I wasn't prepared to even start the show. Yeah, a lot going on. Anyway, Mitch, what's your thoughts on what's happening?
All I know is 4 weeks ago, most Americans couldn't find Ukraine on a map with a freaking Wikipedia on their
Yeah,
phone.
there's quite a
And
few.
now
of
all of a
them. Everybody.
sudden, everybody's talking about Ukraine like it hasn't been a country that we've had anything to do with.
We've been here for a long time.
We really don't have any moral standing, unfortunately, as a nation, to say that what Putin is doing is wrong.
Not when
we
you
did
take it
basically
in the
the same
context of
exact-
Iraq. Is that what you're talking about?
How about Afghanistan?
Afghanistan.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you, we dropped some form of munitions on somebody in Yemen in the last 48 hours.
Oh, the
Or
battle in
American
Yemen
bomb drop.
is heartbreaking enough, and it's almost like we're selective with exactly where we're going to be,
And
unloading our
aren't we
outrage.
selective with about Israel? We seem to be very select. I don't hear about anybody calling for Israel to be taken out
of the International Olympic Committee for what the atrocities that they've done to the Palestinians
Mhm.
and their own women.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't hear no one
therefore.
call for America to be thrown out.
No,
Look what we did to Central America. Look what we did to South America. Look what we did to the Pacific Rim.
well, we have not been good stewards, totally, but we've had our successes.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
like
everybody just
I'm
let
hoping
them
that
go on.
this is a rallying cry. I don't care which way it comes from, to bring a nation together. We're divided. That's what the heartbreaking part of this so much right now is there is no unification in this country right now.
Yeah. That's what's hurting us.
Yeah.
What's hurting us is there's no unification around the idea that we as the human race deserve to live in peace.
Yeah, all over the
This
world.
is something that we can't even talk about. It's not even part of the narrative. It's all about, oh, so-and-so is going to go get so-and-so, and so-and-so is coming to send these weapons. And so I'm like, God damn, it's just like, it's the same shit. It's Vietnam all over again.
We're going to be in this,
Korea,
Mitch.
it's the
We are
same
going to be
shit.
in this. We don't have much of a choice at this point. I do notice, and I told Marcia earlier, the stories coming out are stories that are meant to persuade people that something must be done. I mean, these are heart-wrenching stories that we're seeing. How can we let this happen? We're gonna end up in this. You know,
Dude, we're already
are.
unavoidably in it. And let me tell you what else. This whole thing was timed exactly so that it would be at the lowest point in Biden's popularity. Could you imagine how would this play out if that asshole racist bastard Trump would have won that election?
Well,
Would have convinced some of these cocksuckers
that didn't work out too well for him because over the last several weeks, his numbers have increased substantially, 12%, from 30-something to 40.
Well, I'll tell you what, he
It's
better
gonna
keep
go up.
doing the right thing, and he keep better saying the right thing.
I believe
And
he
I'll tell
is
you what
right
else,
now.
he had-
I believe he is right now. Right now, the touchy subject right now is the no-fly zone over Ukraine, and we have to be honest with ourselves, baby. If you're talking about implementing that, you're talking about going head-to-head with Russia. What are we going to do? Either you like Johnson said, either you get in or you get out.
Yeah.
Something that's one way of looking at it. I think this is a European problem primarily. No matter how you slice it, Ukraine is in and part of Europe,
It is.
and they are
It
prepared
wants to be part of
do
the
it.
European
Germany is
Union.
prepared to take decisive action. Germany does not have a standing military.
No,
But
but they're stepping up their military spending right now.
They are
Yes.
Actually,
For the
the
first time
reason
since
they're
World War II,
correct.
Germany is stepping up because they have to be concerned because they are part of Europe. If he advances into Poland, then what?
That's gonna stink.
I don't think he's advancing anywhere. First off, I'm still trying to figure out why he even thinks he might be able to take Ukraine temporarily for a little while.
He's going to
But I
pay a
can tell you,
cost
those
for it.
People are going to be damn unhappy about that.
He's already paying for it.
I don't, and it's been reported, and I tend to agree. I don't think that the Russians counted, or Putin counted on the determination of the Ukrainian people. I think that's the biggest story.
Is people cutting off his money.
What's that?
That's what he did not count on.
He's not happy with that at all.
He didn't count that the world was going to cut him off.
Even Switzerland. Who expected Switzerland to take an action in this?
Against you?
You've done something
You
wrong.
have fucked up.
You done fucked up. Yeah, and I'm proud. I
Switzerland
sent my cousin, and I've mentioned it before here. That's where my family came from. My family originated in Switzerland, and I know their trace movement all the way to the United States. and I have family there, and I wrote to my cousin and told him I was proud of the act that Switzerland did. That's a bold move, and I'm proud of them for doing it. But yeah, that was $630-something billion that Pooty Boy was counting on.
Small change.
Yeah, he ain't got a handle on that. I do think the next thing that has to come is going to be cutting off their oil, stop letting them export.
Here's the problem, right?
That's going to hurt us. That's going to hurt you.
That's the problem.
There you go.
It's going to disrupt the global supply very, very badly.
It will indeed. And therein lies.
It's like 40, 50 cents overnight.
Yes. Are you shitting me? Yeah, I'm down here paying $3.50. I don't know what you're paying there, but I've never seen $3.50 down here. Are you shitting me? The refinery's right down the road. They could run a freaking pipe to my gas station. There is no trans. But that's the question that I've had to ask. Is we see what is happening. We know what we need to do. Do we have do we have the courage to do it? Because there's going to be a cost, and that cost is going to be at the gas pump. It's going to be at the grocery store.
You see, here's the thing, dude. We are paying now for the stupid mistakes that we made 40 years ago. That's what people don't get. That's what the payback is now for what we did 40 freaking years ago.
We are paying the price for not challenging him when he took Crimea, when he attacked Georgia. Russia has gotten away with a lot of shit, has not been challenged. Why would he think we'd challenge his ass now?
Because Trump's not president.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
the only reason.
I'm getting, even today I get irritated because I went down the highway today. It's 624 down there into town, and I'm up in my fucking window, driving with my knee fucking 2 fingers out the window. Fuck you. Got my window rolled down on that side so he could see me. I'm honking my horn. Because he's out there with his Trump flags again. Really. And it just, that's, to me, as a Democrat, as somebody who really cares about this country, and I too, you fuck. How can you stand out there and put his freaking name on a flag and try to, are you shitting me? You disgusting cute. Get out of here. Get out of my street. Get out of.
Yep.
It's hard.
Fuck Trump.
Fuck Trump. Fuck him. And the horse he rode in, he's trying to backpedal now. Oh, we need to do something.
You gotta get you a fuck Trump flag.
I need one bad. Anyway, let me thank Diana Mallory, bequeather of the gong, and Secret Squirrel, who came in with $10 and said, positive energy for Velda and bad storms are moving through her area. And what did Travis due to his hand? Construction accident. Yeah, that's a ticket. Yeah, huh?
You can turn my mic back on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had his mic turned off. Didn't want you to hear.
Yeah, no, I noticed earlier. I didn't realize you turned the overhead camera on so everybody can see me one hand typing. I guess you really want me to tell the story.
No.
Yeah, no, you do.
No.
For one, hit the gong for Diana.
Wait a minute. That's what I was fixing to say. Thank you, Diana Mallory, baby.
No, I'm fine. No, it's just life lessons and dumb shit. You do something so many times, and then you do it the one time, not paying attention to what you're doing. You hurt yourself.
Yeah.
For me, it was using a circular saw bit on a drill, and I let the thing that I was cutting grab the bit, and my wrist and hand twisted in ways that it's not supposed to.
Not supposed to turn that way.
So I might be going to a doctor soon. I didn't want to go today because it's a Sunday, and because I think my ring finger might be broken.
Might be broken?
It hurts really bad.
Might be broken.
And BW says Travis following in his dad's footsteps.
That's right.
Here's the sad part. I
didn't get the job done unless there's pain involved.
I've been very adamant my entire life to do things slower than Dad because sometimes Dad is known to hurt himself while building things. And I was trying not to do that
all the time.
I get them built, baby.
Yeah, no, you do. It's not about that. It's just, trying to take care of.
It's a lesson. It's a lesson in experience of don't push too hard down on a hole saw drill when you're drilling because the fight, and it will.
And it will.
That drill.
That drill
will
in
not
particular
stop.
is
No,
unforgiving.
It's a very
So
heavy duty
no,
drill.
it was just my ignorance. I knew better, and I just wasn't thinking at the moment, and I let it happen. But I'm all right. Yeah, that's in Bernadette. Yeah, I got ice.
you're
That's
all
what.
right.
Yeah, I'm
got
fine.
ice packs on it. Got one of them.
It hurt. That's it.
Got one of my lidocaine patches that the doctor gives me for my shoulder, which
Yeah,
is
it
a
works.
pain reliever, and put it right away.
Yeah.
Helps with the pain.
The only thing
somewhat.
that sucks though is like we got so much going on at my house right now. Right now we're doing some remodeling and whatnot, and now I'm not that useful with one hand. Poor Rose is doing so much work down there right now. It's not even funny. So
They shoot
Well,
horses
at least you
over.
got her. You know.
yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm thankful every day of my life that she's in my life. Are you kidding me? I'd be lost without her.
Yeah, I bet.
How long y'all been together now?
12 years.
12 years.
12 years.
Not bad.
Keep going.
Yep, I'm gonna.
Maybe you'll-
That's the goal.
that's the goal.
That's the goal. Anyway, so yeah, no, so yeah. I mean, every time I guess Dad's gonna flip that thing overhead, you're gonna see me do some awkward one-hand typing. I'm gonna try to get better at that. It's not the first time I had to do it.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just,
Push the buttons.
no, I was
It's
just
the only buttons I
teasing.
can push. Leave my buttons alone. I can push any one of these buttons. Look at that. Push that one. Shut up.
Anyway, just so no one can hear me
Yep,
type,
that's
you may as well
fine.
mute my mic, Dad.
Stupid son of a. What?
You can mute my mic now so no one can hear me type on the desk. Until I get a mic stand.
See, I can touch
Ain't no
that
big
button.
deal.
He doesn't mind me touching that button.
No.
The one that mutes his mic. Yeah.
Yeah, forgive me for being grumpy, but I'm just tired of this either what ranges from passivity about war to fetish in this country.
Oh.
It really is amazing how many people talk about war like it's a fucking sport. Hey,
Oh.
did you hear about Moldova? They're gonna bring their paratroopers. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? Well, you know,
Nations send
we don't have the
troops to
balls go
war
out and stand
for
in the
noble
street and
reasons,
tell-
but when they get there, there's only one reason. You're fighting to keep your ass alive. As I always say, the object of war is not to die for your country, it's to make the other motherfucker die for his.
Yeah.
We want to get to a place,
It's easy
and
to-
how we get there, I don't know. War? Are you shitting me? Really? Before this incident, there was a semblance of calm, like things were gonna level out, maybe. And this just blew it out of the
Yeah,
water,
a little
baby.
bit of hope.
But Mitch is right in bringing to the fact that we have it already in Yemen and other parts of the world, where there is war going on and has been for a long time. The Palestinian cause. We have we have made some bad decisions over the last few decades. Did not make us look good. That did not end well. I still praise Biden for getting out of Afghanistan. It was messy. It was never going to be easy. It damn sure wasn't after the previous guy made damn sure he opened up the floodgates before we left.
He made a mess of that.
We need leadership. We need somebody who. And right now, I am happy. I am happy with Joe Biden right now in the respect that he is sought to bring a world together, with all of us standing together. Huh?
My political analysis is that Trump kind of took a shit in the urinal when he left office.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Did we expect anything less from him?
Nope.
No.
I
We
didn't.
expected worse, I
You
think.
know,
Or I did.
I am concerned and still am that. I see. I'm concerned with the security of the documents they found down at Mar-a-Lago. Do I think Trump would sell out
Yeah.
national secrets? Oh, in a freaking heartbeat. Are you shitting me? He'd give it to Putin just to suck up to him. He would do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just to suck up. Because Donnie wants to be that. Don't think for a minute that he doesn't. You ever give him a chance to get back in this office, this country will never be the same again. Thanks to the Republicans, baby. For those that are still dragging their
Already
ass down the
damaged
road
us.
with him.
He's done plenty of damage already.
It's easier to fool people than convince them
Yes.
they've been fooled.
Yes, that is true.
Let's
That is
welcome
true.
Blue Dot Hank,
Let-
who
let-
just came in the room,
Yeah, let's welcome
Yeah.
Ed. Ed, are you with us, buddy? I'm sorry.
and loud and clear.
Travis was trying to get my attention. And Hank, all the way from the Netherlands?
Yes.
How are y'all doing?
Well, it depends. Do you want to hear the news or don't you?
Ed, how are you doing?
Doing great, but Hank is should be the one. Hank, do you have some of that good stuff where we can chill out? Because
Wait a
what's
minute,
going
wait a
on in
minute,
this
Hank.
world today?
Hank,
I mean,
before
what's
you
going on in
do,
this world today? When will it ever end?
before
It
you
will never
do,
end.
before you do, Hank, give me just a moment, Hank. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin the vibe, but I don't want to get far behind here, because I've got a few thanks to give. John Diddybag came in with $10 donation and said, "Buy a parrot, teach it to say help. I've been turned into a parrot." John, just to let you know, brother, I have a parrot, and he hollers every day. That's not what he's saying, but he'll drive you up a wall some days. And Catman56 came in with $3 and said, "Proverb, kill those other people. War on those other people. Now they're coming for me." Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, you're fighting for your life, your buddy's life. You're not fighting for a cause. You're trying to keep your ass alive. John Diddybag came in with $10 and said, "Run into a store and ask, 'What year is it?' When they tell you, say, 'It worked,' and run out cheering." Really screw them up. "It worked," and then run out. Run out. Be wearing something futuristic when you do that too. Yeah, just leave them there. And Mitch Goldstein, thank you very much, sir, came in with a $2 donation to say, "Truck bump." Oh. And I just hit Donnie in the head. Didn't miss hitting the ass.
Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate it tremendously, brother. We're putting that into the we're going to build a fence. We have to build a fence, privacy fence.
I just want to thank everybody who gave more money than me for making me look like an asshole.
That's what they did it on purpose. I know they do. No, they don't. I guarantee you, we appreciate every dime that is given to this show. It keeps us on the air. It helps pay the bills. And like I said, right now we're gonna build a fence. And yeah, we're going to build a privacy fence up by Travis.
I need to build a fence.
Huh?
What sort of fence?
A privacy fence. Oh, not over around the whole property, no. Just
like, how about a one-way mirror? That would be really fun.
There you go.
Just build a burning wall.
Yeah. You see them out there looking at the mirror, just bobbing their heads around, looking at the mirror, trying to figure out what it was. So you can see them, but they can't see you.
Well, I do that. I have that. I keep trying to remind them all the time that we have 14 security cameras surrounding this property. 14.
It's a few.
2 microphones. Say what you want, baby. Go out in the street and say what you want. That's all I'm saying.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can. Which hasn't worked out well for some lately. Well, that's right, Miss Linda. Good fences make for good neighbors. So yeah.
And I'm not getting down on America, because I can tell you, America didn't do these things.
No,
American oligarchs are the ones that did these things. So I ain't down on Americans.
No,
I'm down on the fucking oligarchs.
Like
Elon,
those that put profit over anything else.
Like Elon fucking Musk.
The billionaires.
Who's an oligarch. Sucking money out of the United States.
Isn't that the American dream?
Musk,
Capitalism at its highest peak.
Elon Musk
That's the
might be
problem.
a bastard, but he does deliver satellite link systems for Ukraine at the moment.
I am what is it, Skylink?
He's doing that. Yeah,
Skylink
is doing that for free.
I mean, that's only cool unless you start to think about why we don't already have one of those things.
We should already have that worldwide.
A world satellite telecommunication system, Hank. Do you know why?
Money.
That's why. So he's
because
not.
There's lots of it to make.
Anyway, I'm actually ready to give you all some news.
Okay.
Unless you don't want to hear it.
No. We want to hear the news.
I'll start 22 hours ago. This is all from my friend in the U.S. military. Republic of Poland may provide Ukraine with MiG-29 fighters and Sukhoi 25 attack in exchange for F-16 fighters from the U.S. Poland is denying this at the moment. The Wall Street Journal reported, citing sources in the U.S. operation. One of the world's most popular gaming platforms, Epic Games, stated that they are suspending all commercial relations with Russia, but do not plan to block access to the games. Ukraine will create full-fledged camps for Russian POWs. Alexei Arestovich said, advisor to the head of the Ukrainian presidential office. A decision because of they have about 9,000 prisoners at the moment. The European Court of Human Rights ruled in favor of Ukraine on all future complaints against Russia, reports the Verkov and Rada. Okay, we'll go on. Since the beginning of the war in Ukraine, 351 civilians have been killed and the number of wounded among the population has increased to 707, including 36 children. That amount became significantly higher today because Russia shelled refugees that were in corridors to be transported. So that has been stopped. No corridors remain open. Then we go to Radio Free Europe, suspended its activities in Russia. Adobe has stopped selling its services in Russia. The Puma company stopped shipments to Russia. Oil is being not bought in Russia except for Shell, and this is important. Shell, the bastards at Shell are still buying Russian crude oil because they have found a loophole, and these loopholes need to be shut as soon as possible.
I wonder whose government had a hand in that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's what's on the table now is cutting off the ability for Russia to export oil, because that's providing them with money. But again,
Republic of South. Sorry.
Well, no, that again, we do that. We heard, there's going to be a price to pay. There's going to be a cost here, and that's the question: are we willing to pay that cost to do that?
Yeah.
Billionaires aren't, that's for sure.
Over 10,000 Russians have been detained by Russian security service for protesting his war in Ukraine.
Yes.
From Moscow to St. Petersburg, Arkhangels to Kursk. In one video, anti-war protests even attempt to help a detainee escape. They are all also arrested. In Moscow, police vehicle transporting anti-war protesters was involved in a car accident. The video looked to be deliberate, so maybe a Russian who hated these people. I don't know. Well, there has been a lot of shelling today. Kharkiv is under heavy attack. Mariupol is under heavy attack. A lot of people dead.
A lot of civilians dead.
Also, because
you're seeing videos now of villages, towns, small towns, no military targets around there being hit.
Yeah, they're going after civilians without giving a second thought.
Have you seen the Russian people being interviewed in the street? They actually believe that Putin is saving Russia from an attack from Ukraine.
About half of the Russians believe that Russia is protecting itself from a NATO threat.
Working.
Well, that's not.
This is how Trump works. This is the same pattern as Trump.
It is in part the case. Today, on March 6th, anti-war rallies were held in 56 Russian cities, according to OVD info. At least 4,000 participants were detained. At least 34 people were beaten.
A lot of the
arrest.
A lot of the people reporting. You're not seeing them. They're cutting them out. Their ability to report from there.
Hacking Collective Anonymous hacked into the Russian streaming services Wink and Ivy, like Netflix, and live TV channels Russia 24, Channel 1, Moscow 24, to broadcast war footage from Ukraine today. The war is going on, according to the Russian Patriarch Kirill of the Russian Orthodox Church, because people don't want gay parades in Donbass. And this guy is a horrific Orthodox Christian kind of Russian pope. But he's just a bastard. Well, for the rest, a lot of attacks. I think at least 6 Russian fighters were shot down today and early evening. But the indiscriminate shelling of civilians is continuing. The front lines are, well, slightly different from yesterday. The Russians are gaining a little bit more territory in the south, not too much. And in the north, they are actually nearing the outskirts of Kiev, where today was a lot of fighting. Kharkiv is under constant bombardment. Not many people are getting out there. And Mariupol, well, of course, they thought they could have corridors for evacuees, but Russia.
Well, they've tried to open up a few corridors. I think they've had some problems. With the Russians continuing to shell while they're trying to evacuate.
Also, journalists have been coming under increased attack. Some journalists were
It tells you a
fired
lot.
upon in their cars.
It tells you a
And
lot
Swiss
that so many
journalist-
Russians are willing to be arrested in this protest.
Yes. And
Within
a Swiss
Russia, that
journalist was a Swiss journalist was robbed from 3,000 euros, her laptop, her equipment, and her helmet and flak jacket by Russian forces, which first shot at her car.
I saw a video of the press being fired upon by the Russians.
Sky News team.
Yeah, that was that was scary. Are you shitting me?
So this war isn't over yet.
No.
And it will continue for the rest of the week, probably in the week after, and the week after, and the
Oh,
week after.
baby, we're
And it
not done
depends
for a
on
long
what
time.
we do in
This-
the West.
It
Depends
just,
on what we do in the West
everything
with that.
depends right now on how this escalates, because
Yes,
it's going to escalate
exactly.
one way or the other. He is either
is.
going to surround Kiev, and like they say, bomb it into submission, just destroy it, and creating such a massive influx of refugees. This is not going to stop in Ukraine, baby. You know,
Well,
that's the dilemma that I myself am facing. There's two sides of me, just like there's two sides of just about everybody. You have, I'm a military man from a military background, a military family. There are military options in my head. But then you see what that does, and you go, wait a minute, we got to stop this shit because nobody fucking wins.
Moldova declared a state of emergency today, and they have been preparing the
Moldova,
the
if he
military.
takes Ukraine,
Because
Moldova will just be a
they
side.
They are targeted,
Yeah.
and Transnistria has sent some troops into Ukraine to fight alongside the Russians, of course,
Right.
because that's a breakaway region. Romania is full with NATO troops. Bulgaria is full with NATO troops. Turkey, well, they won't try Turkey.
No.
Poland is also full with NATO troops today. We had AWACS, we had F-16s, F-35s patrolling the border. The entire Baltic
It tells me a
nations are
lot
also
that
in high
Finland
alert.
is considering NATO. That
Finland
Finland,
is still considering
That's good.
NATO
yes,
and have ramped up
As
their
many
army.
And
countries
Sweden.
as they can get.
Sweden,
Sweden.
Can I
because
say
they feel
something?
threatened. Go ahead.
Ask you a
Yes,
question.
Ed.
What about the Chechnyan rebels? I mean, is there any way they can help the Ukrainians? I mean, I haven't heard from them lately.
The problem with the Chechen rebels is they still have to fend with take care of Kadyrov first, who is the Russian puppet there. But there might be a situation, and I'm not sure whether American or other intelligence agencies are working on this, but there might be a situation that in which Russia is still doing badly in Ukraine, like by next week or the week after, and then Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, and all kinds of other former republics might see their chance and break away from Russia, because Russia is now fighting basically a war on two fronts. They're in Syria. Well, they can't pull those troops out because then Assad will get angry. They're fighting a war in Ukraine, which is going apparently so badly that Putin said he was sending 1,000 mercenaries. Well, if you send in mercenaries, you're quite mentally
that was very
deranged.
striking when the report came out that he was sending in 1,000 mercenaries. Mercenaries,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah, you sending in mercenaries. You ain't got a whole lot of confidence in your troops.
No.
You
You
know
know,
why it is, John?
You're sending in
Because
people who
that's
specialize
because
in this shit as a hobby.
His
Specialized
soldiers
in murder.
will not
Yes.
fight. His soldiers will not fight, so he's using mercenaries. Those young lads were interviewed on TV that were told, these Russian soldiers were told they were going to do exercises on the border. They had no idea they were going to cross the border in the initial start of the conflict. They were lied to. And I pity those soldiers, because what's a life, if they've got a life left, will they have when they get back
Casualty
to
of
Russia?
war is the truth.
They're going to be murdered or jailed by Putin.
Well, you know,
Because
they're going to bring
TV.
they're going to bring him up on war crimes. There's no doubt. You know.
I hope so.
Yes, Yes, because he's
Yeah.
committed them, and we've
For
seen
that,
them.
for that to happen,
Hitting him left and
that-
right.
yeah, but for that to happen, he has to be deposed, arrested, and extradited.
And that'll
That,
never happen.
that is a fat chance.
And
American
there's
Express
the
has
rub, Paula.
quit all their operations in Russia. That's a good thing. For the rest, yeah, we're still in the same. Well, it's not a stalemate really, but it's like indiscriminate shelling of civilians, which is what Russians normally do. And I saw one defense analyst from Washington say that the big difference here is that here we have a united people that are fighting back with modern means, in contrast to Syria, where you have ISIS and other rebels who may have
Tracy.
a little bit of modern material, but they don't have the stuff Ukraine has, and nor do they have the same unity basically in those countries. So the Russians have had it way more easy in Syria and in Georgia or other places. Well, in Georgia they also didn't get far because they lost.
No, they didn't take all of Georgia. They just they
Hank,
seized
can I
some of
ask
the
you a
area.
question, Hank?
Yeah.
Hank, can I ask you a question? In Australia, we've had quite a few people jump on the plane and make their way towards Ukraine. What we call, or I suppose you would call, just guys with guns that want to go fight a war.
Right.
Have you had
We've
that
had
in
them
your
here.
country?
There have been.
I see the ones from America
there have
being interviewed.
There have been some veterans who were saying that they were going to do it. In England, you have a lot of people who think
There's England.
they can
England's
just
got a
jump
whole
in,
crew
but
going over.
Ukraine has set very strict rules. Basically, not everybody can go there because you have to have a combat or military experience, and 1 year in the military doesn't constitute military experience. There are a lot of nutcases going. People who I'll be a hero.
I have seen reports
who buy
of some
stuff.
Americans making their way over there. They interviewed a few of them on the border.
I've seen a British guy in an interview, and
I've seen one guy from
stated,
France.
I've never been to Ukraine. I don't know Ukrainians. I don't know the language, but I have bought some stuff in the dump shop, and I'll just make those Russians pay. Yeah,
I saw quite a few, I saw several interviews with people like that.
Basically,
they interviewed 3 Americans on CNN who were in Ukraine. Arrived. They arrived all flat kit, helmet, the whole kit and caboodle. They got to within 10 miles of the border, but they were screwed. They couldn't get any further for some reason. And then they in a taxi with all their fighting gear, and driving to the border in a taxi. That was 3 Americans.
There have always been throughout history people who have stepped up in Spain. What was I just thinking of?
You had the Spanish Civil War.
Yeah, the Spanish Civil War. You had a lot of people step up from other countries.
These were, but the
before World War II, there were
rather
Americans in Indochina
organized
fighting.
But they
you
were
were
rather
with the English. You were flying with the English in World War II.
What's that?
In 1939, the American pilots were flying with the British Air Force against before America got involved.
Yes, we fly. Yeah, it was all voluntary basis. You had to volunteer to go.
There were about 3 or
But there was
5,
no
maybe.
shortage of people that were stepping up to do that. And that's what I prefer to think now, that you see people who are generally concerned with an attack on a democracy, on a sovereign nation, to go help.
According to the DoD, as well as NATO and several ministries in Europe, there is a danger of these. Well, they're not mercenaries, but these people from the West going to fight in Ukraine. Apart from the fact they can be maimed, die, or whatever, they could also be used as an excuse, as giving Putin an excuse to attack NATO, because of course he can say to
he's already out there talking his mouth about he considers the sanctions right now to be an act of war. That's what he's saying. Let me catch up real quick because I want to thank.
Anything he wants is an excuse.
Yeah. I want to thank Mark Perkins, who came in with $10 and said, I went to the bank the other day and there was a beaver behind one of the desks. Teller said it was due to budget cuts. He was their new branch manager. Fuck Trump and Putin. There you go. Need a little laugh there.
Yep.
Thank you, Mark, very much. And Catman56, my buddy Pete, came in with $2 and said, we are seeing what Trump in power would be doing here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just, who brought us here? Yeah, Donnie did. Donnie did. And Donnie is the one that has impacted this country so much that we have difficulty picking sides now, really, between Russia and Ukraine. Really? We're having trouble distinguishing which one is the good guy. That's sad.
Yeah,
and it makes me sad.
Boggles my mind.
But you know, where do we go? You know, because what I'm looking at, there ain't no good options, baby. There's nothing that's going to be good in this. There's going to be people die no matter what we do. The question is how many?
Yeah, what you need to remember is not every ordinary Russian is behind this war. Not every ordinary Russian in your street is a traitor.
It's true.
The perfect answer to this would be an inside job on his ass.
Against
yeah.
Correct. That's what you need, John. Inside job.
Yes, we need an inside job. Take Putin out, because that is who it is. It is one singular man. This is not Russia deciding that it's going to dominate the world. This is Putin deciding that he wants to dominate the world. One man. Yeah, so the optimal solution would be to, you know, take his ass out. Period. You know.
Let's tweet that.
Just what's that?
Say that's true.
Yeah.
In the good old days, it would have been taken.
Would have been taken care of already.
Yeah, in the good old days.
Yeah, in the good old days. Yeah. When was that?
Yeah. When America knew what it was.
That was World War II.
And who its enemy.
Come on, that's bullshit. You know it.
That was, you know,
There's an old saying.
What's that, Hank?
America's regime changes have never worked. They've always backfired. They've caused war.
There's a problem with regime change. It's not from the people.
All over the place. I mean, come on.
You know, that's what democracy is. It is the people choosing their government. That's what it is.
What did you think I said, Hank? What did you think I said? I said the good old days when America knew who they were and who their enemies were.
Oh, that's World War II, you mean?
Well, sometimes I think you have to go that far back to find us united.
I mean, the really good old days was
back
when,
before Trump.
No, the real So sorry, Aussie Dave. The really good old days was when they were still in the fold, when they were still under British rule.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, okay. There we go. We're stretching back now.
How to make friends.
We're stretching back.
If I can add something, John.
Sure, go ahead.
There is an old saying, sometimes to win a war, you have to not fight.
That's true. You know, it's
nice if we didn't have to.
It would be nice if we don't have to, but I don't know if my problem is looking at this whole thing over the last several decades. Is Putin going to stop in Ukraine? No. If he gets Ukraine, if he takes complete control of Ukraine, he's not going to be done. You know,
yeah, he could be happy.
Like I said, he took Crimea. He got away with it, basically. We didn't do that much. When he took portions of Georgia, you know, we didn't do too much. Well, now he's taking a whole country. The size of Texas, they
There's
say.
also another saying, John.
Huh?
There's another saying. You cannot win a nuclear war.
No. Nobody wins in a nuclear war. You know, that's the hidden conversation behind all of this. That is the ultimate threat that geopolitics can divulge into an area of nuclear war. And nobody wins, baby. Not them, not us, not anybody. Because it's not going to be about a world situation then. It's going to be about your ass surviving the day and tomorrow. If your ass is left, in what direction do you go in? Because there's no infrastructure left. There's no electrical grid. There's no internet. There's no TV. There's nothing. You'll be lucky if you get a shortwave signal from somebody else. That's what nuclear war would be. It would be a Mad Max. And in this country, that makes me afraid because we're not a unified country. There are those that would seek to hurt you for what you have. They will not be unified around a flag. You're going to see, you'd see desperate situations all over the country and indeed all over the world. It's an unacceptable solution to this. You know, if you carry that out to what a nuclear war means for everybody, you think the rich are going to get away? They might be out there in the middle of the ocean on your yacht, but there's no place they're going to be able to freaking land. You run out of food and water eventually. You run out of something. We can't afford to let centuries of progress
To let it get that way, yeah.
to end up in the trash pile of history is just a blown up
Yeah, we
world.
needed to stop this as soon as possible.
And that's not even including the environmental damage that would be done by a nuclear war. You know, even if we
Really?
survive, good luck. The planet, you just killed it anyway. You know, it is that scenario that scares everybody. You know, what would we do? My God. I'm saying my God, and I'm not even a religious guy. You know?
Not either.
No, it's not the answer. But we have to find the answer to this shit. And as Mitch alluded to, it's not just Ukraine, it's other parts of the world. He's right. Yemen has been suffering for freaking years, and a lot of our ammunition is being dumped on their ass from Saudi Arabia. You know, our buddies. Yeah. It's not a pleasant world when you go to looking around sometimes.
We lost Hank.
We lost Hank.
No, I'm
No,
still
Hank's
here.
here. We lost
Who
lost
Hank?
Mitch.
Somebody we lost.
I was just reading news that Russia is now talking about their
Me neither,
fact,
Paula.
not the fact, but their fact, that they think that Ukraine wants to blow up a nuclear reactor in Kharkiv, because then they could blame the Russian military of attacking the reactor with rockets. Well, as if Ukrainian people would blow up their own nuclear power plant, thereby killing hundreds, millions of Ukrainians. And only because they could then blame Russia. I think that's more something Russia would do. But oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Because Russia also said that the nuclear reactor that they targeted, basically, they targeted the building next to it. That was the fault of the Ukrainians, because Ukrainians shot first at them from the area of the nuclear reactor, which is also bullshit, because that's not what happened, because I saw the video exactly from what happened from the Ukrainian body cams. So, I mean, Russia is complete... Russia's bullshitting their own people. And their own people will wake up. When will they wake up? Well, when they cannot do anything anymore with Western stuff, when the first dead bodies might come home, or the first jars which hold dead bodies might come home, because apparently Russia now has mobile crematoria in Ukraine to get rid of the bodies of the dead soldiers.
No.
So I think Russia is in a whole world of shit and a whole world of hurt, and it will only get worse unless they do something about Putin and take him out or get him away or whatever, or arrest him or depose him.
Put him out of business,
There's a comment here I want to read that I think says a lot, because this isn't the only place you're hearing this shit. I just moved it. Where'd it go? Jeanette Miller. That was what my son and I were talking about earlier. We talk about things now that are just horrible. It moved on me. These conversations are going on in homes all around the United States, or indeed around the world, of how perilous we are right now, how close we are. And I can only try to reach in my memory to remember a time when I was young during the Cuban Missile Crisis, that my father was in the Navy there. And yeah, concern was high. I didn't know much. I was a kid. But I remember. And now I understand my father's concern of what if. And so, yeah, this conversation is going on all over the place. This is not new to anybody. We're all concerned. And every day, I don't know about you, but every day, every morning, I the first thing I do is open my iPad and start checking the news. What happened overnight while I was asleep? Because it's daylight over there when we were asleep. what's happening. And every day the news is not good. That's what I mean when I say we're being primed, baby, for what's to come. Things are not going to be good. You know, and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sit here after 6 years almost of this. Just when I started, I pissed off at a world at a country that would elect such a dishonorable, obviously unqualified prick of a man into my White House, and then going through all of the accusations of Russia, the Miller
Nothing
report.
ever got done.
Yeah, 10 counts of obstruction of justice just in the Mueller report itself, where we can all read, not to counting all the shit we've learned since then. We watched him destroy relationships with our friends in Europe while he sucked
right
up to
in plain sight.
Biden helped. Biden helped to. I mean, the fact that Biden was chosen for Europeans was proof that America didn't have gone completely bonkers.
Biden, I think, is doing the best he can on trying to put a world back together, unified, because now's the time it has to happen. Now is the time that we you know, it's fish or cut bait. You know, we got to do something, and there has to be a unified answer around the world. That's the only way it's going to work, baby. America can't do this on its own. If we do anything, we have to have the backing of everybody, because it's going to hurt everybody. What is the world willing to pay for that?
Yeah, the world needs to come together.
What would they be willing to pay if it was coming for your property, your land, your house?
And that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They are going to do that.
So I'll tell you,
if they get by with it, they'll take everything.
It's not a pleasant feeling to have somebody neighboring your property that doesn't like you. That's
exactly. You know exactly what that's like.
Makes things tense.
I have a short article here that I would like to read out. It's about some of the historic background to the reason that these Ukrainians are fighting so bloody hard at the moment to keep Putin and his cronies out. And it begins as like this. At the entrance to the memorial park in Kiev, there is a sculpture of an extremely thin girl with a very sad look, holding a handful of wheat ears in her hands. Behind her back is the Candle of Remembrance, a monument which details reminiscent of authentic embroidery that can be found in traditional Ukrainian costumes. This is a monument that commemorates a historical event known as the Holodomor. What is the Holodomor? After the end of the First World War, Ukraine was an independent state, but in 1919 the Soviet Union sucked it into the community of Soviet states. The Ukrainians, who even then considered themselves a Central European people like the Poles and not an Eastern European people like the Russians, tried to restore Ukraine's independence. In 1932, not wanting to lose control of Europe's main granary, Stalin resorted to one of the most heinous forms of terror against one nation. In the process of nationalization, he took away the grain-producing land from the Ukrainian peasants, that's in the east, but also its offerings, thus creating an artificial famine. The goal was to teach Ukrainians to be smart so that they would no longer oppose officially Moscow. Thus, the people who produced the most grain in Europe were left without a crumb of bread. The peak of the Holodomor was in the spring of 1933. In Ukraine at that time, 17 people died of hunger every minute, more than 1,000 every hour, and almost 24,500 every day. People were literally starving to death in the streets. Stalin settled the Russian population in the emptied Ukrainian villages in the east, where now Donbass is. During the next census, there was a large shortage of population. Therefore, the Soviet government annulled the census, destroyed the census documents, and the enumerators were shot or sent to the Gulag in order to completely hide the truth. Then the World War started. Their poison gas was hunger, their Hitler was Stalin, their Holocaust was the Holodomor. For them, fascist Berlin was Soviet Moscow, and their concentration camp was the Soviet Union. Today, 28 countries around the world present the Holodomor as genocide against Ukrainians, which you could not learn about in school because almost all evidence was destroyed and victims were covered up for decades. Survivors were forcibly silenced by not having the right to vote until recently. The Holodomor at that time broke the Ukrainian resistance, but it made the desire for Ukraine's independence from Russia eternal.
You know, their democracy is only 37 years old, I think. You know, most of the young people fighting in this war, that's all they've known is a free Ukraine. It's the older generation, they know. And you see them, so many on the streets. You know, I'm watching little old ladies willing to take up a gun, man. With Molotov cocktails and stuff. That shit that you have to be close enough to throw. And they're willing to stand their ground. I've watched them, Ukrainians standing in the street in front of Russians, holding a rally, I guess, holding up their flag. One guy jumps on an armored personnel carrier, Russian personnel carrier, with a Ukrainian flag is standing on top of it. These people are bold. They're showing their courage here. You know, it is so.
Show what they're made of.
Yeah, it is so, inspiring to see those willing to fight so hard for democracy, while at the same time living here and watching democracy under attack in another form. You know, we have a short time to try to pass the Voting Rights Acts that are in the Senate. Don't think for a minute that democracy is not under attack in this nation. It is. It is by people like Trump, who don't give a shit how you vote. They'll determine who the winner is. That's who we're up against here. And we have to somehow bring this country together if we're going to fight, or if we're going to be involved in an international or world war. I would like to think that I could rely on my fellow Americans, my neighbors, my friends, my countrymen, to band together for the greater good. That's what I'd like to believe. That's what I'd like to believe. I don't.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you have this silly convoy of freedom riding your streets with a lot of morons. That
want to drop the mask mandates or don't want vaccine mandates. You know, they're rebels looking for a cause. They're going to be pissed. You're not going to be able to do anything with your diehard maggot Trump rebel flag waving Nazi you can't do anything with those people. Those people are gone, long gone. They're a waste of society. We can't do a damn thing about them. What we have to do is don't become them. Don't let them become a part of our accepted society. That's what pissed me off a whole lot about Trump, is the fact that it's not that we defeated racism in any form of the matter, but we were heading to, Barack Obama was elected. We were heading towards what we thought might be a better era, a better time in our history. But his election, as great it was, spawned such hatred that was reborn in this country. And now it is transformed into not only bigotry and hatred and racism, but outright support for our enemies. Are you shitting me? I keep challenging this shit. I'm sorry. You don't call yourself a freaking American if you supporting Russia and all this shit. That's my people I know. Get your ass over to fucking Russia. I don't give a shit. I don't get my personal shit. Never mind. Diana Mallory came in with $10 and said, "Here's a thought for Russia. It is only 55 miles. Here's a thought for some. Russia is only 55 miles from the United States."
Yeah, well, you have to take a boat from Alaska.
Yeah, I've been out there, buddy. I know where it is. I know where it is. You can't. You're not telling me. I know exactly where that border is. It's cold too. Yeah. Well, if you ask Sarah Palin, she can see it from her house. So.
Speaking of Alaska, John, I gotta go because the Great North is coming up at 8:30. It's a good show.
Good show. I heard. Well,
yeah, I have to be going, John.
Ed,
I'll say goodnight to you.
We appreciate it tremendously. You coming by. Yeah, it's about time we wrap it up here anyway. But we appreciate you coming by for the conversation, Ed.
Night,
to hear
Ed.
from all of you.
Good deal.
Good night. Good night, Hank.
We'll
Night,
see
Ed.
you later.
Enjoy it.
And I guess
Next time.
that'll bring us all up, I guess, because it is.
Yeah.
We're getting towards 7:30 here, so I might go out there and visit my wife for a few minutes and then come back here in the blue room.
Well, it's about 2:21.
I'm sure she'll like that.
Yeah, it's early in the morning over there, Hank. We
Yeah,
appreciate
say
you.
hello to Mama from me.
We appreciate you being up that late. You and Aussie. Aussie's up early. So.
Yeah.
And
I'm sleeping 6 hours a day,
Oh, hell.
sometimes 5, depending on what happens.
Yeah. Well, I can
Because I'm
relate. I am
sharing-
not sleeping
I'm
too
sharing
well here
news-
lately. But
I'm sharing news messages, satellite pictures. I'm sharing a lot with other people, and some of these people can forward that stuff to Ukraine. We get news from Ukraine, and it goes on minute by minute, hour by hour, and sometimes it's horrific news, and sometimes it's happy news, like a small village that has been taken back from the Russians or stuff like that. But on the whole, it's a mess, and of course, it's a problem that this is Putin, so the West cannot just go in and liberate Ukraine because, well, nuclear bombs. Anyway. So I hope that the people of Russia will revolt.
I'm
basically.
proud
I hope for the third-
of a lot of people in Russia that
second
I've
Russian
seen standing
revolution.
up. You
Yeah,
know.
we need a second
And,
Russian
and
revolution,
indeed,
basically.
around the world, you're seeing support for Ukraine. You're seeing protests all over the world, and that
Yeah.
is it's inspiring. We just
Gives
have to
hope.
see what Putin's response to all of it is. Anyway, as usual, the discussion is great, and we're glad everybody came by and joined us. I want to thank everybody on Facebook, on YouTube that came by and joined in the conversation. And there is a lot of conversation going on in that. I just love that shit, and I do. I get squirrels sometimes, get distracted because I do. I see somebody make a comment, and then I look down later to see somebody answer it, or somebody say a comment, and then I have to go look up there and see what. But anyway, it's that conversation that I see going on here is probably the most important thing in this whole group, that we come together. There's only a certain few of us that get on the air here and run our mouth and everything. This is the family here. This conversation that goes on is the family of the heartbeat of this Blue Dot family, and I want to thank everybody that did that participates in that. Anyway, Ardessa, thank you very much for coming by, darling. We appreciate it. We hope
Thank
Dan
you.
continues to improve day by day.
Yep, it's getting there, but it's slow.
And we'll give him our best, baby. Give him
Thank
our
you,
Blue
I
Dot
will.
family best. And Hank, we appreciate you all the time coming in from Netherlands, brother. Always, like
most welcome,
Aussie, always
most
enjoy to hear an international opinion in this. So we always appreciate you coming by. And I want to thank Aussie Dave for coming by, and Mitch Goldstein, and Ed Beatty, and oh Lord, my memory's really getting tested nowadays, I swear. And everybody else that joined us tonight. I appreciate it tremendously. Hard times ahead, baby.
I hope.
Bad
I
news.
hope
So
Travis' hand will heal well.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, he might have to go. You know,
He can play Luke
yeah,
Skywalker
he
now
doesn't have
after the
insurance.
Battle
He's
of
afraid to
Bespin.
go. Whatever. You know, that's the rub, baby. That's the rub when you don't have insurance and you get hurt.
Yeah.
What do you do? You know, that should not even come into the consideration. The thought of when people need medical attention is how much it's going to cost you and can you do it. But we'll get him taken care of. I figured out the old way my dad used to do it. You know, I'll just get a hammer and knock the shit out of the other hand. He won't feel the evil people. He'll forget about the pain in the first. Anyway, I love y'all. Thank you for being here. It's Sunday, baby. We're off on Mondays, which is a good thing tomorrow because it would be rough. We'll be back here Tuesday for another Blue Dot family meeting. So please, until then, try to keep a smile in your heart, baby. It's hard to do now. It's hard. There's something in the day, though, that you're going to find a smile about. And take that opportunity to make yourself feel better a little bit. So do that and pass it on if you can. I love you all for being here. Thank you for being a part of this.
Love y'all too.
Y'all say goodnight.
Love you too. Stay safe.
Night, everybody.
We love you back.
Big hugs.
All right. We'll see you later.